Well, hello, and welcome to the Fisher Poetry Podcast, a showcase of prose, poetry, and song written and performed by those in the commercial fishing community. Mostly. I'm your host, Brad. Thanks for joining us today. Today's episode is from the 2024 FisherPoets Gathering in Astoria, Oregon. The location and performers in this episode, as well as links to homepages of both the archive and gathering, are included in the episode description. So, without further ado, here's the show.
And I'm reading something Megan Emerson wrote about you all. Being an audience is a sacred, expletive duty. It's paying tribute to hours and years of people's lives. It's being handed a tiny glass of the spirit they've distilled out of it all and feeling it burn and catch fire as it slides down your throat. What I need is to be there when the glass is being handed around, as the room sways and gasps and moves its feet, to witness an artist make a moment in time ring out like a bell and fall silent. So we're going to do that for Nels right now. That's Megan Emerson. She wrote that, tugboat operator. Nels, do you pronounce all the vowels in that name?
Yes.
Okay, Nels Ure is a second-generation Bristol Bay fisherman based in Naknek in his off-season. He advocates for the salmon habitat that is the bedrock of the commercial fishing industry in Bristol Bay. I met Nels at the Red Dog in Naknek in 2021 because Melanie Brown, you can come on up, is just like the Alaska networker. And she's like, well, where can we find this? What are you, Kodiak? And then she found the connection between me and Nels and Kodiak. And my tender operator for herring was Nels' uncle. Can you hear?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow.
Nels Ure!
Hello, everyone. Just for those of you in the audience, is this anyone's first time tonight at Fisher Poets? Yes, I'm seeing some hands, hearing a little bit of cheers out there. Well, this is my first year as a performer on this stage, but yeah, thank you. I was lucky enough to have a little bout on the stage last year at the 26th annual Fisher Poets event during the slam poetry, or the umpteenth poetry competition, which will be happening later on tonight. They usually give you a topic, some guidelines to follow, and you create a poem, and it was my first real go at it. Last year, I lost my father very early in the year at the beginning of 2023, and didn't really know what to expect coming to Fisher Poets, but I felt very embraced by the community and very inspired to write and just get some stuff out. And so I'll be sharing with you, just to start out my set, that poem from last year. The winning poem. Thank you, Mo. I didn't want to say that, I didn't want to come up here and, oh yeah, I won last year, guys. So here's the victory lap. This poem is titled, I Remember You. I remember you in the smell of camel blues, Ugashic views of charcoal hues, the artificial scent of hazelnut coffee mate. I remember you in the splash of a fish granted its wish, the crack of a net strung taut during stormy sets, the purr of an idle engine, a whiff of exhaust. I remember you as I navigate these uncharted waters. I call out your name. Your voice is gone, Father. Now these tides are turbid, the water is black, it's an ocean of grief, giant waves crest aft. The loud hailer is silent as I weather this storm. The safe harbor of your lessons, our memories formed. The current feels strong no matter where I go, but a fleet I've found checking in on the radio. You left a backlash in my life's net, but I've been learning to mend it, looking towards my next set. I will always remember you. Okay, well, now that we got that one out of the way, we can have some fun. Yeah, so obviously, as you can probably tell, I come from a fishing family, and that phase of my life last year was just it just marked a new era in my world, where the person who had charted or guided me through life, both literally and figuratively, sometimes where I did not want to go, sometimes fishing when I did not want to fish, left or was no longer there, and I really started driving my own ship. But really had me looking back on how fishing has impacted my life, and outside of work and the purpose that you get from fishing when you are a fisher person and you love it, it's given me so much more. I live in Naknek now, and I was fortunate enough to fall in love with a Naknek girl. Yes, they exist. For those of you who don't know Naknek, or you're like, knick-knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone, what is this place? Naknek is a little village of 800 people on the coast of the Bering Sea. I think it's the heart of Bristol Bay. Some people in Dillingham would be booing me right now, but is there anyone in Dillingham in the audience? Okay, perfect. It looks like we got a Naknek crowd tonight. But yes, I fell in love with a Naknek girl, and she is also a fisherwoman. She's tough as nails, and my Bristol Bay angel. So this one is about her. Bristol Bay Angel. On the banks of Bristol Bay, through boatyard, bonfire, and bounty, I met a girl who would marry me. As the summer love affair began, it buoyed itself in an unusual plan. 3 weeks of preseason, left wanting more, Bristol Bay would test our connection offshore. No cell phone service near, a millennial's worst fear. While fanning flames, seas surrounded, snail mail was where our love abounded. To outlast a season through pure insistence, a difference of district defined our distance. But distance wasn't enough to curb persistence, writing love letters with tender assistance. Fingers fumbling for fish refused to stop, sacrificing sleep in separate galleys, we shared our thoughts. Letters folded tight and electric taped with precision, precious words, questions, dreams, under strangers' supervision. Infatuation with each dispatch, salty hands fondling letters after offloading catch. Back then, I never thought of our declarations of love getting caught. But now I see clearly how special it was to be drunk off young love, feeling the bivouac buzz. Not distance nor district could stop our hearts, but the postseason catch comparison would be a good start. That fateful summer of 2018, an epitome of Bristol Bay chivalry, our love was carried cross deck to delivery, an ocean beauty love story. That salmon season will forever be the one that had the most valuable bounty. For the net I set, for I was met with a queen salmon, the greatest catch I'll ever get. So yeah, if you guys can't tell, we wrote letters all summer and just delivered them. We trusted these people on tenders to deliver love letters, cross districts. It was wild. I'm impressed. It really feels like a Bristol Bay love story. And so we are now married, and as you can probably imagine, a few years later, after 2018, we welcomed a Bristol baby into our world. It marked another huge change in life, welcoming a little one, and so this one is about her. It's titled Naknek AK, which is the Dene word for a light breeze started. The summer that she was born was one of the windiest seasons I can remember. I mean, I've only been fishing for 15 years, so there were probably windier ones, but for me it was a wildly windy season, and her name is Tuli, which means wind in Finnish. Naknek AK, a light breeze started, the summer you came to be. Trapped on a boat while I waited for you, westerlies whipped up waves, easterlies eagerly explored estuaries. The whisper of your name on the breeze as I was blown through anxious seas. The summer you came to be, I labored away fearing your labor days away. For back at port a miracle drew near, our newest crew member almost here. Yet there I was amidst endless reds, wondering if I'd make it to meet you instead. Holding on for survival every day I texted, called, trying to catch wind of your arrival. Those summer winds redirected my course. As wind bears fate while fishing, so does your existence to mine. I no longer throw caution to the wind, instead I hold fast for my bloodline. The freedom once offered by the water is now exchanged for time with my daughter. So whatever storm life throws at you, Thule, a zephyr or tempest, a gigantic gale or gentle gust, I'll be there to help you adjust. That summer you came to be, my guiding wind, my little Thule. And then, you have a kid and your life changes and you start thinking about, man, what does the future hold for the little ones? What are we leaving them in this world? And I think for those of us in the fishing community, plenty of issues right now. It's the graying of the fleet. There's salmon habitat issues all over the Pacific Northwest and Alaska. In Bristol Bay, that's the Pebble Mine. But once I had my daughter in this world, it really put in perspective, what are we leaving this next generation? So I wrote this little poem called Future Generations. Future generations. There's power in collectives. It's why salmon have done so well, charging towards their future with only the next generation in mind. Despite human harvests, hatcheries, hydroelectric hindrance, they return annually, driven by biological foresight so that they may continue on. Once abundant, now limited, thousands of years of careful stewardship strained with the colonization of river systems. Now Chinook numbers are struggling everywhere like the salmon of the Chigs and chums of YK. It's naive to think that we're not next in Bristol Bay. But what's there to worry about? We've been riding a 7-year flood, but the ebb will come. It always does. And when it does, will we wonder if we could have done more? In the face of protecting our salmon relatives are the ones who embody the most resistance, fighting foreign corporations, mines, cooperatives, for these fish represent past, present, and future. Commercial fishing issues are plain to see. With the measly 50 cents offered in 2023, Russian salmon flooded markets and leftover fish from 2022 put all of us Bristol Bay fishermen in the red before we even knew. And what about the young fishers who are trying to cut their teeth? Can we combat the graying of the fleet? If overhead stays high and prices stay low, how can this industry sustainably grow? Despite their decline in volume and value, salmon persist, creating new ecosystems, social and economic, deepening our bonds. But salmon lifeways are in danger as climate change makes environment stranger. History will repeat itself with the runs we have left unless we act for those not at the table yet. Salmon nourish our worlds as our responsibility must. It's time to take action for what is left the next generation inherits from us. So as Mo introduced me, she said that I do salmon habitat conservation work, and I just have to plug it right here, right now. We in Bristol Bay are very fortunate that we still have pristine habitat that foster the world's largest sockeye salmon run. We are so lucky because of that. At the Gear Shack and on our website, Fishermen for Bristol Bay, we have take action letters that people can sign that ask your legislators and your congressional delegation for permanent protections in Bristol Bay, which is what we desperately need to protect what we have up there. But enough with the politics. Now I will just end on a high note with just a fun little poem about fishing and that feeling you get when you're out there. This one's just called, aptly, That Feeling. Excitement builds as we head towards shore. There are hundreds of jumpers, maybe more. Right at the beach, I let the buoy go. As we set the net, it seems to slow. Fish are jumping in Bristol Bay, school after school heading our way. They're running along the beach, some in the shallows just missing our net's reach. I drink strong black coffee from my mug as I feel the fishes catching tug. We'll gill the ones that we can get, and this one's gonna be a big set. Out of the east, a light breeze blows, scent of Labrador on the nose. Hydraulics engage as we start reeling. A jagged net is like no feeling. Cork after cork, fish pile on deck as we look for bins we haven't yet packed. The closing minute is drawing near, round hauling, an inevitable fear. We lock the roller and take our stance, preparing for a final messy salmon dance. And that's my time. Thank you, everyone.
Well, that's it. This one's in the tote. The Fisher Poetry Podcast is written and produced by Brad Wortman. The theme music for this episode is courtesy of Mark Allen Lovewell and Molly Knoll. If you'd like to appear on or have comments about the show, please send an email to thefisherpoetryarchive@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to haul the latest episodes into your net. The Fisher Poetry Podcast is available via our podcast host, Podbean, as well as Apple, YouTube, and Amazon. You can listen to our other podcast episodes, watch our YouTube videos, and join our community by going to thefisherpoetryarchive.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.
Come all young sailormen, listen to me. I'll sing you a song of the fish in the sea. Blow, ye winds, westerly, westerly blow. We're bound to the southward, so steady she goes.